as we welcome you back live to Austin with one final spot up for grabs here at this regional. This is the 41st NCAA Women's Volleyball Championship. They're the Fighting Illini, as you just saw, took out the defending national champions from Kentucky. Back with Selima Rockwell, I'm Paul Sunderland. Illinois came in with very high hopes, playing their best volleyball of the year so far, but then they got some very bad news in the last 48 hours. Megan Cooney, who you saw a lot of in those highlights, is ill, did not practice yesterday. She will not play tonight against Nebraska.
Well, this is a tough and a big loss for this team. The fifth-year senior that has been on the court all the way around. She holds it down. I mean, if you see her kills per set, that's 3 kills per set that she provides for the team. But it's really been the leadership and really the guidance of Megan Cooney that's helped this team get where they are today. So a big loss. They're going to have to move some players around today and shift some positions and see if they can get it done.
It's not just plug in another good player. You have to completely change your rotation. We'll describe that as the match moves along, but Rayna Terry was superb last week against Kentucky, had her most productive weekend so far.
Well, she played out of her mind, and when Rayna Terry can get going, there's really no stopping her. She's such a physical attacker, hits with so much power and so much range, and to see her hit so high above her normal season average was huge, and she was the one that completely catapulted them to that win.
You look at what she did last week. 27 kills on 56 swings, and now look, there's going to be pressure in the tournament, but now it's off of Illinois and it's on Nebraska. But this is a storied program. They're 5 times a national champion, and they've got an All-American on the outside, 6 rotations in Maddie Kubik, and an All-American healthy in the middle.
Well, Maddie Kubik has been so good this season and really been the one steady force for Nebraska, always getting it done, being consistent. She carries a heavy load, and she's really stepped up to the challenge. You talked about Lauren Stivrins having her come back to this team after recovering from her back surgery, and she is playing just like we've seen her. Need her, get her involved, and set her the ball that she needs to be comfortable in the middle, but she really gives that team confidence moving forward.
Stivrins with her straight trademark slide, missed the first 12 matches of the year after having back surgery last April. But Maddie Kubik, I think she should have been in the conversation for National Player of the Year, Big Ten Player of the Year. She does so much for one of the best teams and programs in the country. Nebraska won both regular season meetings in the Big Ten this year, October 16th in Lincoln, 3-0, and in Champaign on November 4th. Illinois was held to 144 efficiency. 40th meeting all time. Nebraska leads the series with 31 wins. So they come in as a big favorite. We take a breath, and if you're just joining us, go back and look at ESPN Plus and replay the Washington-Texas matchup. It was a reverse sweep. Washington was near perfect in the first 2 sets, and Texas won the third 25-22, then 25-9 and 15-9. And so Texas will play the winner of Illinois and Nebraska. Nebraska, as the higher seed, will be the home team on the scoreboard and wearing their white uniforms. And the red travels very nicely. Dedicated fans out of Lincoln, Nebraska. 5 times an NCAA champion. These two teams met recently in a very important match. 2018, they met in the national semifinals. That was won not by Nebraska, 3-2.
Talk about how well Nebraska travels. You look across the screen at the Illini crowd.
Yeah.
They brought a good group here.
Good call, Selima. The orange and the...
Right.
That's a good group. That's a great group. All props to the Illini cheering squad. Underway. We'll go through the rotation and the changes. Nice block out of the middle by Kayla Caffey, along with Lindsay Krause on the outside, 6'4" freshman out of Papillion, Nebraska. And Nicklin Hames, the starting setter at Nebraska. No player in the history of Nebraska's volleyball has started at the setting position all 4 years. The only freshman ever to get the starting nod.
That's impressive.
Nice dig by the defensive player of the year, Lexi Rodriguez, and what a story she has been for Nebraska. And the ball is down. Nebraska is the best defensive team in the Big Ten in just sheer numbers of digs. But then I looked at the national stats. They're the top defensive team among all Power 5 conferences.
They have so many good defensive players. It's at times it's like there's 3 liberos on the court for them. So really good behind the ball.
Akana there as well, along with the former bro in Knuckles. It's a nice rip down the line by number 12, Rayna Terry, 6'3" sophomore out of Marengo, Ohio, 3.4 kills per set.
Now we'll take a look at some of the adjustments you see at the net. Whittington on the court. You're going to see Kennedy Collins play in that opposite position where Megan Cooney was.
Again, it's not just filling in for Cooney's absence. The entire lineup and rotation needed to be changed and adjusted by fifth-year head coach Chris Thomas. And Kennedy Collins last week at Kentucky was 10 of 21, played a very, very solid match in the middle and now playing out of position.
Well, she's very good. She can run off one foot, so they're going to do some double quick attacks with her and be a little bit creative with what she can do.
There is Collins, nice dig by Lindsay Knuckles, 5'8" junior out of Yorktown, Indiana, and off the top of the block. Number 22, Krause, Big Ten all-freshman team. Depending on the recruiting service, either the number 1 or number 2 recruit coming out of high school last year.
So effective on this right side of the court, has been a steady player for them in the opposite position.
Yeah, this has not been a season without challenges for Nebraska. They've had to move some parts, and I talked to John Cook, old friend of ours, yesterday. I said, how was your week of practice? I got 6 freshmen on my roster. It was up and down. And he made an interesting point. He said, because of COVID, all of these now freshmen didn't play at all last year in high school or in club because of COVID. So they had been off volleyball for quite some time. Knuckles again. Good start. Overpass. Nice dig. Terry hanging in. Again, off the block, into the antenna, and out of bounds. That's Rayna Terry. That was off of Krause, number 22 in white.
Well, Rayna Terry playing her best volleyball of the year. The last few matches has really come on. Been way more consistent in getting those kills at the net for her team.
Carolyn Barnes, 5'11" freshman out of Naperville, Illinois, on the outskirts of Chicago, into serve for Collins. Quick start for Nebraska. Terry again, and that was not off the block into the antenna, that was directly into the antenna, so an unforced error for number 12 in blue.
She's looking hard at those hands. You don't want to hit the ball right into the middle block, that's for sure, so she's going high and flat off the hands, but clip the antenna that time.
There is Lexi Rodriguez out of Sterling, Illinois. Big Ten Defensive Player of the Year, Region Freshman of the Year, first team All Big Ten. I mean, just a remarkable opening season. Nice shot off the edge of the block and out of bounds. Saved. That ball was set way too tight, but Rayna Terry doing good work. You did a lot of matches in the Big Ten Conference this year. Talk to us about what you saw from Lexi Rodriguez as only a freshman.
Oh man, it's so impressive, and you're going to see it tonight. Stay with us and watch Lexi Rodriguez because she reads well, she anticipates well, she can pass, and she plays excellent defense. But the one thing you don't talk about a lot is her second ball. She sets a great second ball. Just a fantastic all-around volleyball player, and that's why she's a starting libero for Nebraska.
Becoming Libero U, the last 2 Olympic liberos were both out of Nebraska. Kayla Banworth, now the head coach at Ole Miss, and Justine Wong Orantes, who was Defensive Player of the Year twice at Nebraska and was the most outstanding libero at the Tokyo Olympic Games.
She's so good. It was so fun to watch her really blossom.
She went from a concern to a star going into those Olympics. Here is Terry off the service winner, 6'5". Tough flat serve. Tight play, a little joust at the net, player down. Whittingham working hard, moved into the starting lineup. Maddie Whittington, 6'4", redshirt freshman. There is John Cook, one of the most accomplished coaches in all of college volleyball, 4 times a national champion. 5th winningest coach in history, now in his 22nd year in the Hall of Fame in 2017. Nebraska was 23-7 on the year, 15-4 for second place in the Big Ten. Good serve by Akana. And that ball left, but not well left. That was good work down the line by Jessica Nunji.
She can get it. She can find that line. She moves it around. She hits the ball heavy as well.
There's Chris Thomas in his 5th year in the national semifinals in 2018. And has a connection to Nebraska, was an assistant coach with John Cook in 2015 when the Cornhuskers won the national title before taking the job, and also worked for Hugh McCutcheon at Minnesota. Doing a wonderful job leading the program in Champaign-Urbana. Kubik. Nice dig. Rayna Terry sprawling out. Pretty good set in transition. Kubik again. Love her footwork, really gathers and skies to swing, number 10 in white.
Gets her body in position, but talk about that dig from Knuckles laying out into that left back area of the court, keeping the ball alive. You're going to see from both of these teams, tough serving and excellent defense, some wow rallies.
That was Kenzie Knuckles, was the starting libero, but when Rodriguez came on campus last spring, it just sort of became apparent, it was obvious. Players know. This was a talent that was unique and special, and really special for such a young player in serve receive.
And how tough is that for another player? But he said she's been great, and Kenzie Knuckles has been awesome with her role and what she's had to do, playing defense and hitting some out of the back row as well.
I mentioned the defensive prowess of Nebraska. I'll give you those numbers in just a moment. It's quite a number. Swing over the top of the block and missed out of bounds by Kyla Swanson. Nebraska averages 17.2 digs per set, first in the Big Ten, 13th nationally. But when you go look at that list, they're the #1 ranked team in a Power 5 conference. So when you take into consideration level of play, they're the best digging team in the country. Talked to John Cook about it. He said, well, does that mean we're just a crummy blocking team? We don't block any balls?
No. They're really, really good.
Bait and horse, nice off speed. Good set that time by Knuckles. On the slide. First of many from Lauren Stivrins, wearing number 26 in white, 5th-year senior, 6'4" out of Scottsdale, Arizona. First team all Big Ten again. Missed the first 12 matches of the season recovering from back surgery.
And if this is the set and the connection that they have all night, watch out. She is going to score every time she gets the ball.
11-6 is the early advantage. Here is Terry. Rodriguez with a dig, but out of bounds. And to your point about the connection, it has not always been there, even when Lauren Stivrins got back to as close as she can to 100%. Micklin Haynes has been a little bit up and down in her senior year.
That ball drifting off the net a little bit, but really trying to find that. Some matches it's perfect, but they want to find that consistent connection here for the rest of the tournament.
Good block touch off of Batenhorst. Right back at you. Illinois rallying well with Nebraska right now. Rodriguez with a dig off the Chester. I'm impressed with the ball control. Rayna Terry is a big banger, but she can play some defense, and her first touches are good for number 12 in blue.
And I like this role that she's taking on. You can feel it. And, you know, with Cooney not on the court, somebody's got to be, I'm that leader. I'm going to take control of things. And right now, that looks like Rayna Terry, but she's been really good. Switched her in that position, flipped the outside in the middle of the season, so she could do that out of the back row.
Her bookend, Taylor Cooper, the libero. Nice eye that time. Number 3 in white, the white jersey, the libero for Illinois. Fantastic sprawling pancake, and then a good eye to let that ball go is Diana Brown. 6-foot redshirt junior out of Columbus, Ohio, the starting setter. Will go back to serve for Illinois, trailing by only 2. And I'm looking right across the way. I really do owe an apology to the Illinois fan base. This is a strong turnout.
It's huge.
This is fantastic.
That's what it looks like when you're in Huff Hall. They've got their little jumpsuits on with the stripes. I mean, that's exactly what it looks like in that student section. And they're loud in their gym as well.
Tough serve. Flat with pace. Stivrins with the first ace in Illinois. Another solid year in the country's toughest conference. 22-11 overall. 12-8 for 7th in the Big Ten Conference. 8 Big Ten teams made the tournament. Welcome to the NCAA Women's Volleyball Championship, presented by Buick. Back to 3-time All-American at Penn State, one of the great setters of her generation, or of any generation for that matter, Celine Rockwell, of Paul Sunderland. 41st NCAA tournament, Stanford with the most titles with 9, Penn State with 7, Nebraska with 5. Most recently for the Cornhuskers in 2017, and that ball, wow. Rayna Terry is saying that ball was out of bounds. The lines person called it in. It was a whiff out of the middle by Kayla Caffey, and we will have our first challenge. Once again, using the quote-unquote standard challenge system. You get 3 challenges. You can challenge ball in or out. That ball's out.
That ball is out.
That ball is out.
And it's interesting, a couple of the players on the bench were like, no, don't challenge. They freaked out as soon as he picked up the card because they thought it was in. So it looks like that
I see separation.
Yeah.
That ball is out. That's great work by our crew. Now, under the old system, because it's gonna be replaced, but you have to go through the process. It's got to be tested, and the research needs to be done. I fully get it. Coach Thomas will have to burn one of his 3 challenges in order to get this call overturned.
And that's why there is so much frustration sometimes when a missed call, a big blatant missed call happens. The coaches get a little frustrated that they have to use the challenge,
sure,
but they know they're going to lose it. So the newer system, the experimental one, allows you to challenge at the right time. You keep it if you win it. You don't lose it.
This is some background on Fighting Illini volleyball. This is their 19th regional semifinal. They've made 7 finals, 4 national semifinals, and the last in 2018. Championship match in 2011 when they lost to the UCLA Bruins. In 2018, beat Wisconsin in the regional finals, and then lost to Nebraska in that 2018 national semi. I can't believe they called that ball in.
Wow.
That ball was out.
Yep.
Now Chris Thomas is really mad because not only did they get the call wrong, they got the challenge wrong, and it burned a challenge.
Burned a challenge, lost the point.
4-0 run by Lauren Stivrins in Nebraska. Last year hit 468, this year 362. Coach Cook telling us, well, I'll finish the thought in a moment. Boy, she is serving the ball exceptionally well. I brought up the fact that Stivrins' numbers are down. He said, look, she had to delay her back surgery after the season until May 11th because of COVID. She couldn't, it was elective by description. It took a long time to get her back in the gym. She lost a lot of weight, lost a lot of muscle, and now she is at just the right time, rounding back into what is All-American form.
Yeah, she is driving this serve, really disrupting the offense of Illinois.
Stivrins out of the back row. That's a new wrinkle. Good block touch. A defensive touch by Stivrins.
Got her in the middle back, too. And Kubik in the left back.
And that ball missed. Rayna Terry going for it. Now the lead grows to 17-9.
We'll keep an eye on this rotation. See if they move Collins and stack her on the right side, or excuse me, Nenji on the right side, which they do right now. Have to split some things up, change that pattern. Again, another adjustment with Cooney out of the court.
Free ball again to the Cornhuskers, looking to extend their lead. Caffey on the slide. Nice reach that time by Cooper. Kennedy Collins, that is probably the first ball she's had to hit all season long on the left side. The middle blocker, and a good one, just what she did last week. Timeout is called by Illinois. Wanted to ask you about Lauren Stivrins. In college volleyball, middle blockers do not have to serve. In Olympic international volleyball, the middle blockers have to serve and play some defense. Coach Cook is having some fun over there because she managed her position quite well. Is she staying in because her serve has gotten so good?
I think she's staying in because her serve is really good, of course, but her defense, and I think with Coach Cook, and he's talked about all the youth he has on the floor, it's nice to have experience. And Lauren Stivrins can play defense. She can handle the ball. I like that they're putting her in that middle back position right now, and Maddie Kubik can dig out of the left back, so doing some different things. But that is a tough serve. She is driving this ball, generating points.
Yeah, off to a very good start from the service line and right around the dial. Coverage of the NCAA Women's Volleyball Championship continues with regional final action Saturday on ESPNU. For more information on the NCAA Women's Volleyball Championship, log on to ncaa.com, the official online home for all 90 NCAA championship. Season recap for the Nebraska Cornhuskers. Once again, Second place in the ever tough Big Ten with a young team, sometimes starting 3 freshmen. Lexi Rodriguez among them. We've seen Allie Batenhorst along with Lindsay Krause. Also Whitney Launstein also getting some action as part of that #1 recruiting class. But the stars step up, and Maddie Kubik, Lauren Stivrins, Nicklin Hames, etc. are going to be the most reliant parts, if you will, for Nebraska. Where's Nebraska vulnerable as they move forward, and if you've seen them throughout the course of this year?
Well, I think their biggest question mark, I would say, is the second outside position. They've been rotating Lexi Sun, Allie Batenhorst, and just trying to get some production there, and some of the youth on the court, like you talked about. They can serve tough, as we've seen, and sometimes get a little bit of passing trouble, but not much. They handle the ball well. It's really the production that they're getting from the left pin. They need both outsides to be really good.
Boy, they have decided to really do it at the defensive end. #1 in the Big Ten in opponents hitting efficiency at 142. That's 7th best in the nation. Here is Batenhorst. And on the, they called violating the plane that time by Kayla Caffey. We had that in the opening semifinal.
I believe that ball was still on the Illinois side. She completely reached over before and had an opportunity to cross the plane.
Yep, good call. Here is Jessica Nunge, 6'2" junior out of Newburgh, Indiana, transfer from Florida State. On to serve, Kubik ripping on the pipe. And that ball was called out of bounds. I don't think you're going to burn a challenge. No, maybe.
Hames was sure. She was 100% adamant that ball was in by a lot.
Well, if we can, and I know our crew can do it, if we can get a really wide shot of this, you'll see that the lines person bailed on the call.
Right, they turn as this ball's being hit. Not exactly, not being hit.
Yeah, that ball's in.
Just kind of that slight movement.
In her defense, when I saw it live, it looked like she got out of there earlier. She's still really focused on the ball.
For sure.
Yeah. Good work. So that call will be overturned unless we were wrong.
Again. No, that ball's in.
The ball was called out. If the call is reversed, it will be 19-11 Nebraska in this regional semifinal. Yeah, the call is reversed. Gave you a little bit of Illinois' history as far as the Cornhuskers are concerned. 5-time national champions in 2015. They beat Texas in 2017. The 2 most recent beat Florida. 37th regional semifinal appearance. 37 times. And that's going to be a net violation called against Batenhorst.
Batenhorst making a nice block move on Collins, but just grazed the net as she got over on the block.
Nebraska receiving with only 2. Maddie Kubik along with Rodriguez. Nice first contact, good rhythm to the offense, good soft block against Krause. And unfortunate, that was a pretty good effort that time by Brown, the setter, chasing that ball down, and Nebraska with a comfortable opening set lead.
Well, Illinois going hard. I mean, they're not letting up at all, and this is a challenge. This is a big challenge. Again, we keep talking about Megan Cooney being out. It's not just the offense. It's not just, her presence on the court. There's so much involved. You have to completely change everything the day before you play, and that's tough.
Kennedy Collins finding out yesterday she's now going to be an opposite, a slide hitting opposite. That was a good hard swing once again by Terry, but just over the sideline. When we talked to John Cook about this Big Ten season, and Illinois knows all about it, you know all about it. He said this was among certainly the 2 or 3 strongest years for the Big Ten, and maybe the strongest all time.
Yeah. I think it's been consistent talking to all the coaches. They've said the same thing. It's been so tough, so many good teams. And remember, Illinois finished 7th, and they're here, 7th in the conference.
Nice dig by Hames. Krause will track that down, free ball. Illinois trying to find some late first set rhythm. Ball set a little bit tight. Good block on the outside by Krause, and that's going to be for context. Well, when you look at the tournament bracket, the Big Ten had more teams than any other conference with 8. And you look now, Wisconsin is still in, Purdue is still in, Ohio State was eliminated today, Nebraska, and then also Minnesota. So to say that it is the best conference is stating the obvious. Tough serve. And that's going to be a free point to Nebraska, controlling things right now, 23-12. Just joining us, Texas. A reverse sweep, a wonderful comeback. Washington, can't say enough about how well they played in the first couple of sets, and even into the third, it was 25-22. But the fourth and fifth sets were all Texas. They will play the winner of this on Saturday night at 10 o'clock Eastern. There is victorious head coach Jared Elliott. I talked with longtime assistant coach and Olympian Eric Sullivan, and he was very, very proud of his team for that comeback, because they were a couple of plays away from going home much earlier than they had planned.
They were down and out. I mean, it was an incredible comeback by Texas.
There is Lindsay Knuckles, 24 aces on the year, serving up set point number 1. Good play by Caffey. Tough chance here for Krause. Smart shot. Smart shot for the freshman, number 22, Lindsay Krause. Just throwing the ball up into the block. Worst thing that can happen is you recycle. The best thing that can happen is the ball hits the floor, and Nebraska takes the opening set. In the state capital of Texas, number 10 seed Nebraska used to play here a lot. They know this building. Until 2011, they were part of the Big 12 Conference, and a long-time rivalry against the University of Texas. Batenhorst, number 14, a little bit of a slow start. Again, it's been that position, just 1 of 8 so far in the opening set. Nebraska hit 250, but forced a lot of errors from Illinois. Back with Salima Rockwell and Paul Sunderland. Siding out numbers, 58% for Nebraska, 28% for Illinois. And Kayla Caffey will miss that thumb down to open things up in the second set.
So it's a little bit behind her, but she's trying to make something happen there and hits that one wide. Nebraska
again has won 5 national championships. That is third most all time, behind only Stanford and your alma mater, Penn State. Batenhorst is stuffed on the outside. Nice move by Terry, number 12 in blue.
Not just a great attacker, moves well to the pins. Nice job surrounding that ball of Allie Batenhorst.
Perfect pass, right back to it. High flying Kayla Caffey.
How about Kubik just holding it down in a 2-person serve receive, passing this ball perfectly. Caffey, I love watching her play. Just gets up and thumps it.
Caffey, 6-foot senior out of Chicago, Illinois, a transfer from Missouri, working on her master's degree in teacher education. Hitting 372 so far in the year, solid numbers. Collins smartly, nice ball control. Kennedy Collins, 6'3" junior out of Zion, Illinois. Middle blocker no more. I am an opposite tonight.
That's right, but running a lot of slides. That's what she's comfortable doing. That's what she's very, very good at. So they're using her in that sense, going off of 1 foot as much as possible.
Had a really good year, hit 335 on the season, and that ball well left and just out of bounds. One more spot in the regional finals. Been a very, very interesting and in some ways unique day. What happened between, and I'm mentioning again, Purdue and BYU, and then the reverse sweep that we just saw. And then didn't Purdue have a reverse sweep in the opening round?
They did.
They did.
Against
so
Dayton.
Yeah, against Dayton. So it has been tourney time. That ball missed just out of bounds as Rodriguez will go back to serve. Just 14 aces on the year. But what a defender, what a receiver.
She's a fabulous player.
That ball missed out of bounds. And speaking of the Big Ten and the most recently concluded Tokyo Olympic Games, a full 8 of the 12 players on that gold medal winning roster were from the Big Ten Conference.
They were.
Oh, that's a nice play. Good hard work and some confusion on the side of Nebraska wearing their home white uniforms, and it's Illinois on top 5-3 in the second.
Driving that ball. I talked about their serving. This is a very, very good serving team. And of course, Nebraska, an excellent passing team. They can get them in some trouble.
Service ace, nicely done by Carolyn Barnes, the freshman defensive specialist. On the medal stand, the players out of the Big Ten. There's Jordan Poulter, Jordan Larson, Justine Wong-Orantes, Michelle Barch-Hackley, and K-Rob Kelsey Robinson. 5 of the 12 were from Illinois and Nebraska. 8 of the 12 were from the Big Ten. Haley Washington of Penn State, Micah Hancock, and then of course Annie Drews played the opposite. She a very proud Boilermaker. Quite a group. Won the first ever gold medal in the history of women's international volleyball for the United States after a lot of otherwise success. That ball off the edge of the block and down. Had won silver on 3 occasions, bronze on 2 occasions, but this time a sweep over Brazil, and that team stood atop the Olympic platform.
So fun to watch that team play, and just did our country so proud, and all the women's teams just cleaning up the beach and the sitting Olympics as well.
Lindsay Knuckles, a very talented high school attacker, came in as a libero, but she is explosive, 5'8" junior. You know, there are some smallish, and we've talked about them.
Yeah.
Jill Gillen at Arkansas, and member Monet at Pittsburgh, who we'll see coming up on Saturday, only 5'8", and surviving quite nicely as attackers. And Nebraska developed a nice system in transition out of the back row. Ball set too tight. Batenhorst misplayed that, got Knuckles in some trouble. 7-5 advantage for Illinois. Oh, that's a good play on the slide. Pretty heavy wood, but over the end line, and now it's a 3-point advantage for Illinois.
That one got behind Lawrence Davis just a little bit. Not that bad, not a bad set. Just got behind it, ended up hitting it flat, deep, and out of bounds.
Nebraska's only hitting 167, and one of the things when I looked at their season numbers, they were 9th in hitting efficiency in the Big Ten.
Well, it's a lot of that inexperience, a lot of the youth, I would say, on the court between Batenhorst, Krause, and Monstein, and just some errors on the pins.
They hit 223, 37% kill percentage.
Right.
That's a batting average, mind you. And then I went back and I looked what they hit as a team when they won in 15 and 17. I'll tell the folks at home in just a minute.
Yep.
It was better.
It was definitely better.
Yeah, let the cat out of the bag. It was better. Not there. Looking again into the middle back.
Yep.
In 2015, Nebraska hit 284 on the year, won the national championship. Hit 272 in 2017 and won the national championship.
Yeah, they're way below their average, but in a tough conference with some youth on your team, that's going to be the combination. That's why it happens.
If your opponent can't score,
right?
Defense travels and defense wins championships.
Sure.
That ball missed just out of bounds. Touch off the top of the block. Good, smart swing by Collins, wearing number 1 in the navy blue for the Illini.
Again, had to switch to that opposite position and doing a nice job over there, hitting that high ball, more comfortable and used to hitting off of 1 foot, but nice kill off the top of the block.
Overpass, nice dig and block, I should say, by Haynes. Good reaction. Really good set to Collins. That ball was down. That's okay. A little bit of a late call, but that ball was clearly down. I think Nebraska's got to call a timeout.
Yeah, you watch Nicolette Haynes run all the way across the court to try and pick up that ball. That was a long set. They jacked it all the way back there to Collins.
11-6 is the advantage. Perfect pass by Akana. That is really good transition offense. Nice kill by Nunji.
Rayna Terry again out of the middle back, controlling that ball. Perfect touch.
There is the timeout, and here come the Illini after dropping the first. Orange is here. really good response by Illinois. Salima, they hit negative in the opening set, which means they had more errors than kills, hitting 400 right now in the second.
Well, they've studied out. They've studied out their passing. The offense looks like it's clicking now. It's going to take a minute for them to get going with this new combination of players on the court.
Nice hustle by Brown. Off speed, and Kayla Caffey, number 3 in white, with a kill on the slide.
She just beat the block on that one. Nunji was there, but didn't get over in time. And that's how fast Kayla Caffey is when they set her in front and behind the setter.
That was not a happy coaching staff, headed up by John Cook on the sideline for Nebraska. 10th seeded Cornhuskers won the opening set 25-12. But again, a very good response by Illinois, playing without their best player, arguably. Batenhorst off to a very slow start. And it's a net violation. She will get the kill on that violation, but prior to that swing, Allie Batenhorst was just 1 of 10 with 2 errors.
Trying to work her way. There's so many young, talented players on this team that are gonna be really, really good. They just have to continue to get time on the court to find their rhythm. Wow.
That ball off the head that time, but kept alive. That's Kyla Swanson, who put away match point against Kentucky, wearing number 6 in blue in the middle. That was a good swing by Krause. No doubt.
Krause, a big, heavy swing here. That free ball coming across the net, you have to hold if you're the middle for Illinois. Gonna create some space there for Krause to score.
Krause 5 of 6. Perfect dig by Kubik. Transition opportunity, off speed recycle. Caffey again.
Thumps that one. Oh, look at the bench. Doing the airplane. She unloads on that. Quick set off the net.
Yeah, the bullpen for Nebraska was as impressive as that kill. That was really kind of good. 12-10. Little run by Hames and the Cornhuskers. Good pass by Terry. That ball well off the net, 15 feet off the net, throwing it in there for Caffey. Hames is a little fired up.
Why not? Ball way off the net, got to generate some offense, knows where to go with the ball, just fire it in there.
Nicklin Hames, 5'10" senior out of Maryville, Tennessee. Second team All-American, first team All-Big Ten the last couple of years.
Nice smart play by Kayla Caffey on that set that's way off the net. Gets the dribble down the back of the defenders.
So timeout called by Illinois. Good response by the Cornhuskers. The recipient of the most coveted award in college football will be named this weekend. The 87th annual award will go to either Alabama quarterback Bryce Young, Ohio State QB C.J. Stroud, Pitt QB, you get the idea, it's the QBs, Kenny Pickett, or Michigan defensive end Aiden Hutchinson. See who takes home the trophy Saturday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time on ESPN and the ESPN app. Texas has advanced. Storied programs. The consensus was that this was by far the most difficult regional when the bracket was put out, because it also included the defending national champions from Kentucky, who, oh, by the way, had an awfully good year as the SEC champions. Louisville, Georgia Tech, you see the time, 6 Eastern, 8, 4 Eastern time. Pittsburgh and Purdue will be the first match on Saturday, and ours will be the last here in Austin. Texas, once again, a reverse sweep after they were clearly outplayed by Washington. And I think, you know, again, two classy programs, they would admit it. Washington was just really playing superbly, but Texas regrouped and just in time. Hames again. Another point for Nebraska, back within 1.
Love the fire right now. Nicklin Hames going back to the service line. She knows she needs to get some things going for her team. She had the ability to do it.
Looking over to the sideline for the serving area. One of the assistant coaches will designate areas 1 through 6. Good block touch, but Batenhorst looking right, and it was over her left shoulder, and that ball to the floor, a much-needed kill for Collins in Illinois.
What a set by Brown. She was all the way, almost to the left pin, and flung that ball back there to Collins, all the way out on the slide.
There is Nunji, once again transferred out of the ACC from Florida State. Kubik is really solid in reception. Batenhorst. That's what Nebraska needs and their fans want from the outside. Was that Krause?
That was Krause.
Krause.
Yep.
Okay, you get it.
They leave her out there in row 1, but she's so good on the left side, and they like to keep her there because she can side out on any ball in rotation 1 and on the left-hand side of the court.
Yeah, she plays the opposite. That was an impressive swing for 22 in white. It was Batenhorst that got in the traffic and headed to the sideline. Oh, good high flat swing. Really good swing. Ball was a little outside the antenna, and Kubik, what a year she is having.
Set by Rodriguez, laying it up there for Kubik, knowing she can go after, even though it was way behind her head, still able to see the ball and get the tool.
First lead of the set now for Lindsay Knuckles in Nebraska. Maddie Kubik, 6'3", out of West Des Moines, Iowa, first team all Big Ten again. That ball throw down by Krause, who's having a really nice semifinal, the first of her career, 7 of 8.
And it starts with this tough serving. We talked about what a good serving team Nebraska is, and Krause just cleaning up the junk at the net.
Kubik had 19 kills in the second 3-0 sweep. Knuckles stretching out, but a nice kill once again by Swanson of Illinois. Kubik hit 215 this year, Salima.
Yes.
A tough league.
Yep.
Down a little bit for Kubik on the year.
Down a little bit, but I mean, she started off struggling a little bit early on in the season. She's really ramped it up, so I think a lot of that was earlier in the season, but again, taking on this huge role, it has been so good.
Oh, nice play. Good stretch that time by Cooper, who was in that 2018 national semifinal, once again won by Nebraska 3-2. Kayla Caffey. I think, there is life before Lauren Stivrins, and then there is life after, and it's an entirely different situation once Stivrins, the middle blocker and All-American, is back in the lineup and playing well for Nebraska.
Well, for sure. She gives her team so much confidence, just being on the court and on the team and not on the bench.
Kubik again. And that ball, smart shot.
Yeah.
Smart shot. The Illinois block just did a good job of turning their hands in.
Yeah, she wanted that tool, looking for it, thought it was going out of bounds. Would have played it if she knew it was going to fall. But that ball was blocked.
Illinois had a fairly comfortable early lead, but then a couple of long runs. Here's Kubik again, off the equipment, down inside. Whittington for the kill. Maddie Whittington, wearing number 8, 6'4", redshirt freshman out of Stillwater, Minnesota, forced into duty. Hadn't played a lot so far on the year, but once again, in the absence of opposite Megan Cooney in the move from Kennedy Collins from middle to opposite, there you have it. There is Akana out of Hawaii. Good play by Hames. Brown hustling, but good shot choice that time by number 10 in white.
We talk about that play by Nicklin Hames, just one of the smarter volleyball players, just an all-around good volleyball player. Knows that the ball was deflected high off the block. She can make that second play, and here's that smart tip over the top by Kubik.
Akana averaging 2.4 digs per set. How do you get the ball to the floor against Rodriguez, Knuckles, and Akana?
It's really, really hard.
Yeah, you don't. You don't. Oh, a little confusion. It's going to be called a double contact.
I'm going to argue that call, but
John Cook does not like the call. He is very upset at the first referee.
Stivrins trying to step in there to set the second one.
Service error, and Maddie Kubik will go back to the line. We'll give her numbers so far. 14 swings, 5 kills, 1 error. We got to come up with another name. It's up to us, you know, because when you say error, it gives the block and no credit whatsoever. And in volleyball statistics, a hitting error is a ball blocked back on your side for a point or a ball that you hit out of bounds.
Right.
And getting blocked is much better than hitting out, so they cannot be necessarily equal.
That's a good point.
I should know. I got blocked a lot. I was really good at that part of the game. I was really good at that. Kylie Bruder, 5'11" graduate out of Fort Lauderdale, coming on. Also played in that 2018 national semifinal. 1917 advantage. Oh, good pass. Block touch was there. Rodriguez right on target. That is quality touches. That ball was down. That ball is down in front of Bruder. A nice transition from defense to offense by Nebraska, seeded number 10.
There's that perfect dig right to Haynes and a smart shot over the top. So they're exploiting that right side of the court right now, tipping a lot of balls just right over the block, and it's falling. And it's working.
Once again, Rodriguez is only a freshman. Defensive Player of the Year in the conference. And also first team All Big Ten. That ball hit out of bounds. And when you say defense, you can have blockers be defensive. So she outdistanced all the diggers and all the blockers, everyone. Yeah, that is a remarkable performance by number 8 wearing the black libero jersey. And John Cook told us that he really kind of aspired to want to have taller liberos, maybe 6 feet. Megan Courtney was a libero. She played at Penn State.
Yeah.
But then he found out in watching Banworth and then watching Justine Wong-Orantes, built low to the floor, used ground effect for energy, and so now he's decided that this is okay. That ball is out.
Yeah, so there was a challenge on the floor, and this ball.
Doesn't everybody in our great crew, our ESPN crew, doesn't everybody see that ball out of bounds? Just like the other one?
I think they're saying yes. In my ear, everyone said yes. So yes.
Yes.
John Cook having some conversations with his setter. You know, and that's just one of the most important things, that relationship and understanding the offense, what they want to create in every situation, making sure they're on the same page.
Well, who doesn't want to be the starting setter at Nebraska if you're a kid that aspires just to that part of the country and that level of playing and whatnot? But nobody said it was an easy job.
No, it's definitely not easy.
A lot of pressure, a lot of expectation, and Coach Cook is very, very demanding. That's why he's been so successful.
Absolutely.
A Hall of Famer, 4 times a national champion. Took over for a legend in the sport in Terry Pettit, who won the national championship for Nebraska back in 1995. And Texas and Nebraska have a lot of history, not only from Big 12 days, but also recently in the NCAA tournament.
A lot of big, unbelievable
played last year.
Yes.
Kayla Caffey crushing out of the middle now, 22-17. Look at that in terms of winning percentage. Just 4 fabulous coaches, and Chris Thomas in his 5th year got Illinois to the national semifinals in 2018 when Jordan Poulter, who was voted the best setter at the Tokyo Olympic Games, was the starting setter on that team with a pretty good attacker named Jacqueline Quaid, as memory serves.
Yes, that's correct.
Yeah, went right down to the wire against Nebraska. Nebraska ended up winning in 5 sets. Busy time on the ESPN networks. Stacked up Saturday, 3 p.m. on ABC. Soccer coming your way. MLS Cup, Timbers, and NYCFC. 8 p.m. on ESPN, the Heisman Trophy presentation. 8:30 on ABC. Prime time, the Warriors and the 76ers at 10 p.m. on ESPN. Plus pay-per-view UFC 269. So an awful lot going on, as you might imagine. Also on Saturday will be the regional finals, and all but one spot is set. Texas will play the winner of this match, Louisville, Georgia Tech. Louisville, the #1 overall seed. Georgia Tech, the #8 seed. They played twice previously, and Louisville came out on top. Pitt and Purdue. And then in the bottom left of the bracket, it will be a Big Ten affair again. Wisconsin and Minnesota. Wisconsin won both regular season meetings, but the one in Minnesota was 5 sets and very close. The one at Wisconsin was all Badgers, and this one is in Wisconsin. Talked a lot about awards. Julia Orzel, outstanding freshman from Poland, was the Big Ten Freshman of the Year. Stivrins has been serving very well and does so again. Illinois out of system. Terry, nice swing. Good play by Kubik. Don't play the ones that are out of bounds.
They want to run the D-ball with Terry, just trying to get something going and stress the block and really force it to move from pin to pin, but she just misses that one.
Illinois led the beginning of this set. Much upset on the sideline of Nebraska. They led it 12-6, and since that time it's been all Stivrins and Nebraska. Now 7 set points, 24-17. Stivrins has had a magnificent career for the Cornhuskers. It's good to see her healthy once again. Getting back surgery last May 11th. Caffey going off speed. Nice play by Cooper. And Nunji finds a seam in the 3-woman block. Not a lot of women's college teams block with 3.
Yeah, occasionally you'll see it in the halftime, get all 3 blockers in there. You want to expose that last blocker, but she found some room between the right and the middle blocker.
Nunji now with 5 kills. Rayna Terry with 5. Collins with 5. Set point again. Ball well off the net for Nunji. Good choice. Akana. Perfect pass. Slide. Nice dig by Brown. And that ball off the block and out of bounds. So Nunji, a couple of good swings back-to-back for number 14 in blue. But still 5 more set points for Nebraska.
Cooper is just chasing that one out of bounds. But look at this play by Brown. Off of the edge of the block, recovering and making that play.
Kubik right in the middle of the serve receive. Batenhorst having some struggles here offensively, number 14 in white. And they've got a good backup. Another Lexi's son, who's very familiar with this building, had an All-American start and an All-Big 12 start to her career here as a Texas Longhorn before transferring. She's had some moments, some of her best moments this year. One of her best was against Illinois. That ball on the sideline.
Absolutely.
Another timeout. Wow. 24-21. Nice work by Illinois.
Illinois making a little bit of a push here. It starts with the serve, a couple of overpasses. The block's getting in place, though. You talked about Allie Batenhorst having some trouble scoring, but she's got a big block in front of her with Collins, who's an excellent blocker, albeit in the middle. And then, of course, with Swanson, so big block, slowing down Batenhorst on the left side right now.
But to the point you made about that position being still a point of weakness right now for this year's Nebraska team, 3 of 15 with 2 errors. Remind everybody, Saturday afternoon, catch 2 top-ranked men's basketball teams on ESPN. 3:15 Eastern Time, Missouri versus Kansas. 5:15 Kentucky versus Notre Dame, both games on ESPN. And the ESPN app. Back with Selima Rockwell, I'm Paul Sunderland. Austin, Texas, the Austin Regional. The Longhorns in a reverse sweep will play in the regional final once again.
Talk about that match, and really, you have to go back and watch it if you didn't see it. Washington in complete control, played almost a flawless first 2 sets, and it looked like Texas was down and out. It really did, and they flipped the switch, and were a completely different team in the last 3 sets.
Logan Eggleston was a star again. Really good team effort. Skylar Fields dug herself out of a big opening hole, and you talked about Washington early. It was all Texas late.
Right.
25-9, 15-9. Wow.
Crazy.
Set point again. Peyton Horst into the middle of the campfire. A very well-executed roll shot by number 14 in white. It took a little longer than the Cornhuskers and their fans might have wanted, but 2-0 is 2-0. Nebraska may be on their way to another regional final. So could it be Texas and Nebraska once again? I was doing some work today. They played, if they play on Saturday, that'll be the 7th meeting in the NCAA tournament. Right. Texas leads the overall series. 4 wins against only 2 losses, but it was Nebraska that got Texas in the NCAA championship some years ago. So, and I don't mean to be getting into exact. There's no love lost between these two programs.
Absolutely not.
No, if it goes that way, boy, what a rip down the line. That's what Nebraska wants from number 14 in white, Allie Batenhorst.
She's excited about that one. She got a hold of that one. Should be something to celebrate for sure. A nice hard swing down the line by Allie Batenhorst.
And haven't seen that kind of arm speed from her previously in this match, not even close.
Right.
First chance for Terry, and no question she's got to get it going. Nice play by Batenhorst. Play out of the middle, good connection by Swanson, but missed wide.
Batenhorst flying across, picking up that tip, keeping it alive.
Illinois' road, they beat West Virginia and Kentucky, both 3-1. Kentucky, again, the defending national champions. And Illinois took care of them the longer that match went along. That was a really impressive performance, maybe the best of the year for Illinois. On the other side, Nebraska beat Campbell easily, and then Florida State both 3-0.
Back to that Kentucky match. I mean, Kentucky looked so out of sorts. They put so much pressure on them from the service line, and they were rolling. Rayna Terry took over that match.
Good pass. Krause right on the sideline. What an impressive freshman. No wonder. What a mystery. She was either the number 1 or as low as the number 2 recruit coming in.
Sees just a little bit of daylight down the line and cuts it right down the sideline.
Made the All-Big Ten freshman team, was 8 of 22 against Florida State last week. Those first 2 rounds were in Lincoln, of course. Hit only 214 on the year, but again, as a team, Nebraska hit in the 220s. Much below what is their usual benchmark year in, year out.
Again, Brown flinging that ball all the way back to Collins on that slide.
All Big Ten selections, Maddie Kubik, Rodriguez, Stivrins, Nicklin Hames made the second team, and as mentioned before, Krause on the freshman group. Well, congratulations to them. Honors well deserved. Maddie Kubik.
That's a big time swing, high and deep into the court. That's what Maddie Kubik can do. Move it around, but those are the balls that you just can't even touch over and around the block.
Tight set by Terry. Krause and Stivrins there, and they'll be there again. Nice play by Cooper, getting under that. It was a tough chance. Krause is absolutely roofed by Terry.
She swung as hard as she could with no real approach right into that block. Off 1 foot. Wow, what a move by Rayna Terry.
The 3 knockdown rule. A question for you about Maddie Kubik. I was just sort of thinking through the Big Ten, and I know you covered the league. Is she the best 6 rotation outside in the Big Ten?
I'm only pausing because I'm thinking she would have to be one of them, if not the best. Yeah, with everything that she brings, passing-wise, defense, and how she is offensively at the net.
I mean, I'm thinking of the elite teams, of course, Minnesota. At Purdue, Caitlin Newton. But I think that Maddie Kubik might be the best all-around 6 rotation left side in the best conference in the country.
I think you might be right on that. I'm going around the top teams as well in my head. I would agree.
Oh, and just as we said that, but you think about Minnesota, Wenis and Miyabe. Both very, Miyabe doesn't play 6 rotations. Very good players, but I just think
really good.
Yeah, really good. She had a great year, really wonderful year. Tied at 5. That was a really good block and a good-looking offensive play. Akana, perfect pass. Stivrins on the slide.
And Haynes, she's been doing this. She did a lot of this last year, where she was just turning and facing. The ball's passed to the other side of the net. She turns her back to the net. Just whatever allows her to deliver the best ball. That's what you're seeing from Nicklin Haynes.
Get it in the window. It doesn't matter if your back's to it or you're facing right or left or upside down. Good play by Swanson out of the middle. Tied at 6. Nebraska won the opening set easily, 25-12, trailed 12-6, 19-9 run. Nebraska took the second, 25-21. Nebraska hitting .257 so far in the match. Stivrins again, heavy thump, but missed it well wide.
The ball was a little bit inside. She was going hard into that angle and just ran out of some room cross court.
Not a good first contact. Rayna Terry had all kinds of time, all kinds of room, and just tried to make it too perfect.
That's unfortunate. Yeah, just get that ball up and down. Diana Brown so good at moving the ball around, and the ball's just right on top of her head.
Whereas Stivrins had a very good serving run in the opening set. Lots of velocity, flat pressure, working on Terry. Akana a little bit tight, but Haynes goes up and gets it, and Kayla Caffey right there with her.
What a rundown by Akana, seeing that ball off the block and putting it right where it needs to go. Chases it down, controls it. Nice play, transition play by Nebraska.
Give you Caffey's numbers. She's having a nice match. 8 of 14, hitting .430, and that ball drifts out of bounds. Lindsay Krause, 8 of 11. Kubik with 6 kills, taking a lot of tough swings, and right now Batenhorst 5 of 17. Overpass. Collins knows what to do with that.
Illinois just trying to get something going here and get some momentum and some room. A couple of points here from the service line, stretching it a little bit, getting some separation.
Working on Akana. Beautiful platform, perfect pass. Terry again, ball set a little bit tight, right up into the block of Caffey along with Haynes. Good dig. Kubik out of the back row, right back at you by Brown. Yield sign. Not a good, I saw that one coming.
Well, ball falls inside. She keeps going with it, and the block does a nice job of setting it perfectly. Look how far Nicklin Haynes moves in, and that puts Kayla Caffey right in the right spot for that angle.
Beautiful set. And a dig right back at you by Cooper, the libero from Illinois, and a better block, Krause, along with Caffey again. Batenhorst starting to show some heat.
She's starting to show some heat, starting to show some personality on the court. That's fun to watch. It's good to see these young players step up.
Batenhorst out of Houston, Texas. What a recruiting class. She was the #3 ranked player nationally. Swanson right on the sideline. Rodriguez was right there. Reading an article about Lexi Rodriguez, and what she loves to do most is dig a middle who hammers the ball with maybe no block up, but she wants you to just hang in and just, you know, gotcha.
Yep.
I gotcha.
Well, that's why she's so good. I mean, that's the mentality.
No fear.
That's the mentality you have to have.
A rare ace working on Rodriguez, and that was a really good serve by number 3 Cooper out of Lenexa, Kansas. All Big Ten first team last year. First ever libero. From Illinois to make that group. Combination play, but missed out of bounds.
I like that run, bringing Krause in a little bit on that 2-ball. It's a nice change up, moving their players around, trying some different things in this rotation.
Tough serve, and again. Wow, beautiful serve by Cooper.
Cooper's good. She's been tough from the service line all year for Illinois. Driving this ball, wow, watch it break left. It was headed right in Rodriguez's lap. Say that 10 times. And it broke left.
Staying on Rodriguez. Kayla Caffey coming right back, timing there in front of the center.
There's so much heat off of her arm. She bombs the set when it's right in her wheelhouse. She can get on it.
Transfer out of Missouri, now 8 of 14, make it 9 of 15. Here is Knuckles. They will use her in transition out of the back row overpass. Krause did not do much with that. Kubik, change of direction down the line. Very smart shot.
That entire rally, Knuckles laying out for this first ball in the middle of the court, but look at Haynes make a beautiful set out of that ball. Every single touch got better.
Hey, you saw Brown, Diana Brown, the setter for Illinois, thinking there was no room, so she released that ball through the hands that time of Rayna Terry. Tied at 13. Oh, good swing. Knuckles was there. Caffey again. That combination, she gets from defense to offense in really the bat of an eye.
Well, you look at her turn often, and there's that dig by Knuckles. And you watch Caffey just step close and finds that space inside the block.
Timeout called by Illinois. Nebraska leading by 1. It's V Week at ESPN, and our partnership with the V Foundation highlights the urgent need for cancer research and the elimination of racial disparities in cancer outcomes. You can learn more and help support by visiting v.org/donate. 100% of your donation goes directly to cancer research. 14-13, Nebraska leading, but most importantly for Nebraska fans, on top 2-0. The winner plays Texas on Saturday night. Oh, look at that dig.
Wow.
Collins over the top, Knuckles is there. Look at that set. Really good transition setter as well. Free ball coming for Nebraska. Dig, set, perfect free ball pass by Lexi Rodriguez.
I mean, that dig, this ball should have been down, and maybe you dig it, but you don't dig it perfectly. But if you're Lexi Rodriguez, you do. Perfectly executed series by Rodriguez.
And that last free ball pass, really underappreciated skill. It gives you from, let's say, a 50-50 chance to about a 90% chance if you're perfect there. Oh, it's going to be a double contact.
That was all thumbs.
Little deep dish action. It got stuck in the freezer. I've seen Rodriguez play on television all season long and watched a lot researching on ESPN Plus and going back and looking at matches, but boy, oh boy, she is really special, as is Maddie Kubik.
I like that.
Have you thought about that some more?
Hitting that at about 60-70% doesn't need to hit that ball super hard, but that's what makes her that good. I'm still buying it. Yeah.
A lot like Logan Eggleston, she does everything for Nebraska. Shank pass. Nebraska on the way now, on top 17-14.
Tough serving. This Nebraska team really hurting Illinois right now.
Here's Rodriguez again. Coach Cook told her in the spring. He said, if you really want, oh, nice stab by Hames. You got to become a much better server. So she worked on it nonstop. Kubik again ripping inside, dug by Cooper, but out of the reach and to the other side. Nice transition offense right now by Hames, and along with the rest of Nebraska finishing points off.
That dig by Hames, I can't even believe she got underneath that. It was one-arm stab up in the air.
18-14, largest lead of this third set for Rodriguez and Nebraska. Krause going off speed, mishandled, but then misplayed. A little hesitation between Kubik and Stivrins.
Yeah, that ball came over the net. They were just waiting to see if someone was going to play it, and that just dribbled over the net.
Well, neither one of them really wanted to play it.
No, they didn't.
Rayna Terry trying to go hard flat. Akana will come back on. Nile Okana, 5'9", sophomore out of Hawaii. Tough serve. Brown gets a hand on it. Slide. Stivrins. That ball's in. Oh, what a block by Hames.
What a play by Nicklin Hames. Here's that dig that starts it all coming over the net. And the turn and find, man. What a play.
A lot of luck involved in that particular play, but spectacular all the same. 20-15. Nebraska 5 points away from, oh, tough serve. They're going to get a look at a free ball. That's a poor set, but somehow got to the floor by number 14, Jessica Nunji. When I see all of these slides, I get the feeling that Hames and Stivrins are still searching for something, so they're going to it an awful lot to try to make sure it's there.
They want to set her a lot anyway, but I would agree with you. They want to rep it up. They have opportunities, free balls, easy balls to get her that ball and continue to find that rhythm.
Good hustle by Illinois, maybe slide again. This time away from it, Kubik. That is dug right on the sideline. And shot. So Hames with a score on 2 after the roof.
And Nebraska just looks so comfortable right now and having so much fun with what they're doing and complete control of the ball. Hames with a smart little set over in the middle of that rally.
Kubik with a very nice contact and finish. A touch off the block. This is the 37th regional semifinal appearance for Nebraska and a record 10th straight. It's the second longest streak behind only Texas. 30-6 record all time. So looking to get into the regional finals for the 31st time. Nice set by Brown. Not a lot of options there. And a block. Good block on the outside by Brown along with Swanson.
Babers was inside the court, had to make her way back out. Wanted to hit that ball down the line, but Brown, very good blocking setter, but a very good blocker just on the right side of the court.
Are you surprised that Lexi Sun has not gotten any time? No reps?
No, because I've seen this before. Sometimes it's just rides it out. One player will just do the whole match, play the whole match. Lexi has done it without Allie going in as well. But Allie's gotten better and better as the match has gone on. And sometimes you can let it roll, and they can do that right now in this match.
There's Lexi Sun, came back for her graduate COVID year out of Encinitas, California. Two-time All-American, 2 times first team All-Big Ten. Nebraska 2 points away. Nice dig. Akana stabbing in the right back. Kayla Caffey, what a match she is having. Solid in defense and blocking, and then offense as well.
There's that play by Akana, who was just inside the court just a little bit, but still was able to lay out for that ball. Caffey with the finish.
Match points now for Nebraska. Nebraska and Texas, it looks like, on Saturday. On the overpass, and that's going to be back row blocking, and that's the match. So Nebraska moving on once again. Congratulations to the Cornhuskers. And they will take on none other than the Texas Longhorns. 10 o'clock Eastern time on Saturday night. Very unfortunate that Megan Cooney, first team All Big Ten, right side player for Illinois, was unavailable due to illness. But Nebraska, very experienced, classy outfit, took care of business tonight.